张小们好.
老师好。
Hello, great to see you. It is the 8th of November, class, 15, I think. So last week we did raise hands from diagonal flying, and then white crane and left brush knee. And so those were essentially repeats. We'll review them again today. Today we're doing needle at sea bottom, which will be a new movement, not new for you all because you know the form, but we're going to review it as if it was new to just make sure we get all the things locked in. So let's begin with our fundamentals and slow warm-up. We'll start with standing practice. And so let's begin in a parallel stance. We'll do empty stance again because the two stances most of the movements we're doing today are empty stance. Feet shoulder width apart, bend the knees, arms rounded in front of you. And today I'd like to focus on relax. Feng Song, Feng Song. Which translates also as loosen or open or extend. So we can practice this relax in standing practice and in the form as well, and it's the foundation for our energy practice. So feel your head pushing up and your neck opening and extending as your head goes up, shoulders are sinking down, elbows are sinking down. There's extension in the neck. Absorb the chest, so you're extending the elbows away from the spine. So feel that opening of your back, your center back. Then feel the fingertips extending away from the elbows. So all the joints and tendons in your arms and your back are loosening. Now relax the waist, so drop the hips down. And feel your whole spine, but think from the center of your back down to your spine is opening and extending. And since we're there, just put your attention on your breathing. As we open and relax the body by getting a good posture, it's easier for us to breathe. So the chest opens, the abdomen expands as we breathe in. And then as we breathe out, it contracts again. And so head up, shoulders down, absorb the chest, relax the waist. This is a good way to do a transition from whatever else it is that you've been doing in your day to your Tai Chi Chuan practice. Just bring your mind as calm as it'll get, which for most of us won't be very calm, but maybe a little bit more calm than it was before. So let's do some empty stances. So shift your weight to one side, open one of the feet to the corner. Heel touch, so center line two sides, heel touch. Check to see you can actually move your waist, you can move your chest from side to side, and here I want you to point your chest to the corner, but your head is pointing to the front. Feel your weight over your back foot, heel and ball equal. Now tilt your torso forward at the joint, use your joints between the thighs and the hips to tilt forward to give you 30% on that front heel. So the whole heel of the front foot is flat on the ground. Open and extend, head up, shoulders down, elbows away, relax the waist. We'll just do a minute on each side. You can do more, of course, and maybe you will in your own practice. So shift your weight back, change your footwork. Let's go to the other side. We're going to do an empty stance heel touch. So again, just check, you can move your chest, without moving your hips. Orient your chest to the corner. Point your nose to the front. So your chest to the corner, your nose to the front. Check ball and heel equal weight on the back foot. Now tilt forward at the hip thigh joint so that you've got 30% on the front heel. Even though your torso is leaning forward, your head is still up. So feel the string pulling the crown of your head up. Shoulders sinking down, elbows dropping. Absorb the chest, relax the waist. So we've done the empty stance heel touch, and we're now going to do empty stance with the ball. So shift your weight back, change feet. Now we're going to, again, center line to sides, touch with the ball of the foot. Again, you can move your chest side to side. Now I want you to pick the direction where the chest is forwards and your nose is forwards. Again, check that your hips are over the back foot, and now tilt at the thigh hip joint to come forward to give you that 30% on the front foot. That allows you to root, which means you can get this dynamic tension between the front and the back foot. Front pushes backwards, back pushes forwards. Leaning forward now, head up, shoulders down, chest absorbed, back slightly rounded. Relax the waist. Relaxing the waist means you can do your belly breathing. And let's change. Pick up the foot, change to the other side. Center line to side touch with the ball. Fold forward at the hip thigh joint so that you can put 30% on the ball of the front foot. And now align your hands so that they're in line with your looking direction. And I will keep quiet for the last 30 seconds, and you can practice on your own. And release. Shift forward, bring the back foot parallel to the front foot. And hands on hips, go round 4 times in one direction. And then 4 times in the other direction. And now we'll do our lower back. So bend the knees so that your knees don't get torqued when you just move your chest from side to side. Starting to warm up your lower back.
Maybe question.
Yes.
When you do the empty stance practice,
Mm-hmm.
when you do toe touch, I know you weighed 30% at the toe. Is the foot flat?
Yes. I will answer that question when we finish the warm-up, Yali. That's an excellent question. So let's just do the shoulders here. So bend the knees, go back. If you want, you can alternate your arms, elbows, and open to give you a little bit more stretch in the front of your shoulders. And now we'll go the other way. And stop. Right. So great question, Yali. So your question is, when I'm in an empty stance and I'm touching with the ball of my foot, is my foot flat on the ground? The answer is no. It's just the pad of the ball of my foot. So this whole pad is touching the ground, but not my heel, for example. And likewise, when I'm in an empty stance touching with the heel, what I'm touching with is the whole of my heel, the whole pad of my heel, not just the edge. So the whole pad of my heel, but not the ball of my foot or my toes.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay,
Rogelio.
thank you.
Right now, you did the heel stances with the torso to the corner and the
Yep, ball.
ball stances
Yep.
facing. Is that sort of the norm, that when you use the heel, it's looking to the corner and the other way around, or?
So very good question. There are two answers to that, at least two. I can think of two. By the way, Maria, hello. Didn't say hello before. Welcome. The first answer. So when Master Young recently in a seminar, when he was showing us and practicing this, he said, I want you to practice with your chest to the corner for both the ball and the heel, just because it's a way for us to get used to the fact that our head is not pointing in the same direction as our chest. So, so you can do it that way. So you can, for example, so you can do both of them with your chest to the corner and looking to the straight. The other answer is that it happens in the form that whenever we have a heel touch, we have the chest open, and whenever we have a ball touch, we have the chest square. So if you go through the form next time, just look at all the times when you're doing a ball touch and a heel touch, and you'll see that there is that correlation. So so I also practice it that way around, because that's what my body is used to expecting in the form, but you can do both.
Okay, thank you. Great.
Okay. So let us do a few more warm-ups. Let's just do our hip openers. So you can just do it standing, or you can use a support. So stand on one leg. We'll just do 5 at a time. So open and down. Open, and make sure that your standing knee isn't torqued. So open your groins. Don't rotate around the standing knee. I think that's 4 and that's 5. And let's try the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And let's do 5 again. One of the nice things about this too is you can gradually get used to, it's actually quite easy to imagine opening the groin on the side of the leg that is up. But in fact, you're also opening the groin on the side of the standing leg. So pay attention to that too, that you're opening both groins as the leg opens. That'll make it easier to do things like diagonal flying, where you're supporting your leg, your weight on one leg, and then stepping a nice big wide, if you can, 180-degree open. And I think that was probably 6, but anyway, that's good. Let us just do a couple of waist exercises. There's nice waist movement in the movement today. So you can just stand with your knees bent. I'm going to sit, since some of us are sitting. And let's just do the rotations in the 3 main directions. So let's do horizontal first. So 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4. And as you do this, one of the things I want you to pay attention to is don't move your hands without moving your chest. So make sure that your hands are like locked in this position in front of your chest. And as your chest moves, your hand moves. If you find yourself cheating, actually do this with your hands. Just cross your arms and make a box. Then you won't cheat. Okay, so let's go side to side. So 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4. And now we'll go chest forward back. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4. Let's call that good.
I have a question.
Okay,
With the
so
exercise,
go ahead, Ronald.
with the exercises we were just doing, with the twisting and the side to side, I noticed that there's sort of a knot of tension in one side of my back. Is that something that eventually goes away over time? Are there sort of specific exercises to help make the entire back more limber?
Um, I am not an exercise specialist, so I can't really answer your question.
Fair enough.
So I can just share with you what's worked for me. So the first is be very gentle. It does loosen up over time, but it helps to do it every day. And what you're doing, like sitting down, is going to help with that. Another thing that I find helps, and this I learned in yoga, I haven't seen Master Young do this, is that when you do have a tension in your lower back, let me just move this thing around so I don't crush my microphone dongle, is if you actually lie on your back and you hold on to your knees and have your head flat on the ground and just very gently rock from side to side, and gradually as your core gets stronger you can go further and further. This is a nice way to massage your lower back. If you don't have somebody to massage your lower back, actually rolling side to side will, gradually loosen things up a bit.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, that's the best I can do. Okay, any other questions? Good questions this week. Okay, so let us do the second section. We'll start in cross hands, and we'll just go through to where we finished last week, which was left brush knee. So arms crossed, embrace tiger, return to the mountain. Roll back. Press. Push. Transition to fist under elbow. Fist under elbow. Step back, repulse monkey. 1, 2, 3. Diagonal flying. Raise hands and step forward. White crane spreads its wings. Left brush knee. And we'll stop there. Are there any questions about those movements or just any of those movements that you want to work on? We will be doing diagonal flying, white crane, and brush knee in particular for sure as well. Rogelio.
Just a quick, when you finish diagonal flying, your left foot should be facing the corner and the other one facing the other corner, sort of?
Nope. So when you finish diagonal flying, so let's, so this is the front. So for diagonal flying, when you do it, your left foot is to the front and your right foot is to the front right corner.
Okay.
So you're in a bow stance.
Thank you.
Okay, Maria.
Yes, I don't know what to do with my fist, and when I clench it to do fist under elbow, I just forget about that part.
Ah, okay. So the question is, when do you make a fist?
Yes. Right.
Yes. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Yes. So I will. Okay, so I'm going to turn around. So this is going to be the front. So if you were practicing, you'd be facing that way. But so let's just go for the second part of fist under elbow. So we've done this push to the side here. And then you just go to here. So I'm going to step to the corner, connect out, step around with my right foot, pull down with the left. As I touch with the heel, my left arm is going to start coming up and the right arm is going to make a fist here. So when you touch with the heel is when you make a fist, and the fist comes in with the right.
Okay. Thank you. I can only see you from the other side. That's why.
Yes. Could you? So let's just practice that a couple of times. So you would start, and I will turn around in a second. But you're facing to the front. You've pushed to the right, and you're going to step out to the left. So let me turn around. So I'm here. So we're going to do fist under elbow. So step out to the diagonal with the left foot. Connect out with the right arm. With body turning, step with the right foot, grab and pull with the left hand. Left hand pulls down. Change to the heel, and then as you lift with the left, the right makes a fist and comes in.
All right.
Do it.
In that position, that end position, could you go back to it?
Yes. Here.
So your torso is supposed to be facing to the corner as you're having a heel.
Yeah, it's not exactly to the corner. That's a good catch, Rafael. It's not square. It's more than it's more than straight, probably less than corner, because what you're trying to do is, you're punching in here, so you do need to turn it so it's not exactly to corner, because then you couldn't get your arm across, because your hands are either side of the center line, but it is corner-ish.
Okay, 22.5 degrees.
Something like that. Yes. Okay. So let us. So what I'm going to do is I'll call with cues the movements we did last week, and let's do them a few times and see where we are. So I'm going to go in the same direction as you. So we've done diagonal flying. So the left foot is wherever you ended up. Let's say it's to the front. The right foot, you're in a bow stance to the corner. You've done diagonal flying. Right arm is in line with the right leg. Your palm is up, looking over the palm. Left arm is in front of the hip. So raise hands as done. So now raise hands. Shift forward your weight. Arms start lifting. Step in with the left foot. As the arms come back, shift your weight back. Push with the ball of the right foot. Change footwork. Heel touch. The arms close with body turning. Wide crane, body turns, both palms turn over. Pull both arms down as you release the weight from your left foot. Close and step as the arms cross. Shift your weight to the right, the arms start moving. Empty stance, ball touch. Left brush knee with body turning to the right, both arms start rotating. Releasing the weight, arms close to the corner, step out with the left foot, brush as the foot flattens, press, bend the knee. Let's do that again. I'll face in the other direction so that you can see more if you're watching. So we've done diagonal flying here. And check your left hand position. So just hang your left arm, bend your elbow slightly, bend your wrist slightly so that your hand is in front of your hip. Yeah, that's looking great. And palm is parallel to the ground. Raise hand, shift your weight forward, bring the left foot in, pushing back with the ball of the right foot, shift your weight back, arms open, pick up the front foot, put down the heel, arms keep closing with body turning. palms either side of the center line, fingertips are about nose or eye height. White crane with body turning, both palms turn, palms are facing each other. Keep pulling down. You're going to make a big close as you pick up the right foot, turn it to the right corner, shift your weight over to the right, lift with the right, press down with the left. Left brush knee, rotate your body, rotate the arms. Circle the arms, one up, one down, one up, step out, heel touch, brush, and push. And there we are. So, any questions about that? So, can I watch you do that? And let's see if there's anything we should talk about. Okay, so I noticed a few things, and not all of us have the same issue. And so, just listen out. None of these may apply to you, but I'll mention them, see how you do. So the first thing is with raise hands. And what I want to be sure, and this is the problem with Zoom, is the arms will open. When you close the arms, they don't just come together. They don't just come together like this. They actually go out and come in. So they actually, from the top, they actually make this teardrop shape. So they go like this. They don't go open and close. They go open and then come together in the center. So just try that movement. Some of us have it, and some of us are still working on it to make sure that and then another thing to add is that as you close the arms, turn the waist. So if you were to close your arms here, you'll see my palms are in the same position. To get them to offset, I need to turn my waist. So as you close, there's actually a waist turn. This is another reason why we do waist exercises, so that we can, in fact, turn the waist here as we close the arms. The next thing, and I noticed it once and not the second time, so that might just have been not a habit, but one of the things I want to make sure that we're in line on. So let's see. Yeah, here. So one of the things I noticed, which was really nice, is I was really seeing folks rotating the palms towards each other. This is how we start. This is really good. For fine tuning, add a little bit of a waist turn, because the waist leads the limbs. So it's actually the waist turning is making the arms rotate. My point, though, is on footwork. You're going to circle the arms down, pick up the right foot, and then just put it down in the same place. So your heel is going to go back just where it started. That's just how we do it in the form. If you were to do it in real life, it can go anywhere. But just make sure that when you circle and change, the foot just picks up and puts down again. And then I was seeing a very nice arms open. Everybody's arms are really nice and big. Fingertips are horizontal. Palms ahead, in front of the head, not back here. Everybody's looking really good. The last thing that I wanted to mention is the coordination of upper and lower in left brush knee. So let's just review that. So we've done white crane. The beginning looked good. So the first thing we're going to do is, with body turning, rotate the right palm back and the left palm is sitting. Now circle the arms, close and step. So when your heel touches, the arms are at the side. That's good so far. Then the right arm comes to the shoulder, the left arm comes forward as the foot flattens. And then you strike out with a knee bend. So make sure that you distinguish, hang on, where are we? The brush, foot flatten, push, knee bend. Make sure those two are clear and distinct. Let's just do those three movements one more time, and then we'll go on to the next movement. So I will actually face in the same direction as you. So we've started at diagonal flying. Raise hand, shift weight forward, bring the back foot in, slightly cross, push off with the ball of the heel so that you're one line, two sides. pick up, heel touch, shift your weight forward, body turning, raise hand. Wide crane with body turning, rotate both arms, palms facing each other, shifting weight back, arms circle, pick up the right foot, put it straight down, close. Now open the arms as you shift your weight to the right. Torso tilts forward slightly when you're at the end. Left brush knee, come in a little bit. So with body turning, rotate both arms, circle the arms up and down and up, stepping out, heel touch, arms to the side. Foot flattens, arm to the shoulder, knee bends, striking out. And there we are. Any questions? Your form is looking really good, everybody. I mean, it's just very, I mean, this is really refinement. Yes, Ronald.
Is there an actual, I mean, as the hand comes out before it comes back with white crane, is this actually the strike?
No, it's actually a pull.
Okay, so you're grabbing here at the end of it and then pulling it back.
I will demonstrate with my beautiful assistant, since I was going to do the application meaning for needle at sea bottom with Susan before we really got into the details. So we'll start one earlier. Let me see if she's around. Yes, she is around. Okay. Okay, so we're going to do brush knee first. So let's say I'm here. So Susan's going to come in. I'm going to brush here. So this is the, actually, maybe let's try the others. Let's try, yeah, we'll try that. Yeah. No, I think this arm is better. Okay. So here, I'm going to brush to the side. I'm going to step forward, and then I'm going to punch. And let's just come back here. Okay. So Susan, when Susan punches with this fist, what I'm going to do with this palm is I'm going to deflect. Okay, so I'm going to deflect. And then I'm going to punch. And then she's going to come with the other side, and I'm going to deflect here and pull. If she punches with this side, I'm going to deflect and pull. So you can see that this is actually deflecting down and then pulling away. Deflect with, so your energy point is the forearm center, and then a grab and pull in front. Okay? Yep. Okay. So needle at sea bottom. So we've done left brush knee. So I'm here. Let's say Susan, I think we want the other side. Yeah. So my opponent grabs my wrist. How am I going to release the wrist? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull back here. And so to pull back, I'm going to wedge my heel down. I'm going to pull, and I'm actually going to use the other hand to separate like this. So let's turn to the other side. So you can see that what's going to happen is I'm going to pull, and I need my body turning to pull, and I'm going to push with my left hand. I'm going to push, and you can see, actually what we come up a little bit, what you can see is what helps release her wrist, and you can try this if you can find a victim, sorry, a partner at home. If you push the wrist here and you bend her wrist, she has to release. So by actually bending the wrist, I actually can release more easily. And so that's when you all know needle at sea bottom. The first part of needle at sea bottom is we go forward and we pull back. And you remember this arm comes up a bit. What this arm is actually demonstrating, symbolizing, this is actually the push that you're using to do the strip. Now we don't have this arm in the middle, we just show it down here. But remember, this is push with this hand, it's actually doing something. So let's go on. So Susan is going to pull, I'm going to yield forward, I'm going to pull. Let's say this doesn't work. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to, let's come to here. So I'm going to pull back. It's not working. She's come with me. I'm going to do a wrist lock here. And yes, let's go here. Yeah, you can see that I've actually got my hand on top of her wrist. Her hand is bent. So if I press down, she's got to go down because of the wrist lock. My left hand is actually on her elbow. And so when you do needle at sea bottom and your left hand comes down, it's actually the push here. Let's show it from this side. The other thing I wanted to just talk about, so let's say she grabs, I come back, let's see, okay, she grabs, comes back, doesn't work. I go into this position here. I'm going to exert energy. I don't have a root. So how do I essentially get power here? I use gravity. I actually sink my whole body. I'm not actually bending my arm. That's why we sink down here, because I'm using gravity to push it. Sorry, Susan. Susan's wrist is going to be sore tonight. This is why it's much better to practice in person. But you can actually see that this wrist lock technique is using gravity to take the person down. So I just wanted to review. The first thing that we're doing is there is a pull. So this is the first technique, just with the right arm, is a pull. And then there's a wrist lock coming down. The other thing I wanted to mention is this is, if Susan grabs me with this hand, this is how I release this hand. And when we do fan through the back, there's another technique too. But if she were to grab me with the other hand, actually, what would I do? I've got other techniques. So for example, apparent closing up. So if she grabbed with the other hand, now you can see her wrist is weak this way. I do apparent closing up. Or, for example, Fair Lady Work shuttle strike. The same thing. Do the shuttle, do the passing palm, come up and strike. So the reason why we talk about these things is that as we do the movements, think about the imaginary opponent so that you know where the energy points are and what you're doing. So let's finish there. Thank you. Okay, so let's practice needle at sea bottom a couple of times. Then we'll talk about some of the details. But before I go on, are there any questions about what we were just discussing? Okay, good. So let's practice needle at sea bottom. I will go, let me go in the same direction as you would be going. So the front is over there. I've done left brush knee. So let's go through it slowly. Shift forward your weight, yield forward. The right arm goes down a bit. Bring the back foot to the center line. Shifting your weight back with body turning, pull your right arm back. The left arm lifts. So you've got the push on the left and the pull on the right. Now change the footwork from heel to ball and go forward, turning the torso and bending down and sinking down. Let's do that again on the other side. We've done left brush knee. Yield forward weight. Bring the back foot to center line with a pushing of the left heel open. Check that your right hand is about neck height. And what you're doing is you want to release your hand from your opponent's grip. So your right hand is, imagine it's a fish, right? It's pulling out. Now you're going to go forward. So change your footwork to the ball. Go forward, turning the body, bending the torso and sinking slightly. Your ending posture, your head is still up. You're looking in the direction of your lower arm, about 2 yards, 2 meters in front of you. Don't look down at your fingertips because then you can't see your opponent and they'll whack you on the head. So let's just talk about this turn. Actually, no. We'll talk about footwork first. So one of the things I'm trying to talk about with you guys, since you know the form already, is just to remind ourselves what are the fundamentals that we're learning. So with this movement, what we're learning, what's new for the first time in the form here, is going from a bow stance to an empty stance ball touch. When we were doing handstrom lute, we went from bow stance to empty stance heel touch. So this one, we're going to end up with a ball touch. And the way we do that, shift right forward, bring the back foot in, push back on the heel, change to the ball. So you always like alternate, right? So when you're doing handstrom lute, you push with the ball, change to the heel. Here you push with the heel, change to the ball. So that's the footwork that we're doing here. I've talked about the techniques. Now I want to talk about body movement, and this is new body movement for the first time in the form. So when I've pulled back here, you can see that my chest is open, right? Because I started here and I pulled and I used my waist turn to open. When I finish, my chest is going to be square. So my chest is actually going to turn from the corner to the square. So that's the first thing that's going to happen. I'm going to go from here to here. The second thing that's going to happen is I'm going to bend at the hip thigh joint forward, so that my torso is actually going to be at 45 degrees. So I'm going to go from, not quite straight to 45 degrees. And those two things are going to happen at the same time. So I'm going to go from here to here. So let's just practice. And so the third thing, which Master Young increasingly is saying we'll worry about later, is you also want to bend your legs a little bit as you go down. We'll talk about that in a second. But let's just do this body movement. So we're not going to worry about the arm movements. So the first thing is you're going to turn your chest from corner to square, and you're going to bend at the hip crease from almost vertical to 45 degrees. And then what you're going to do is you're going to combine them. So turn and bend at the same time. So that's what's new. This turn and bend. So you're starting with your chest to the corner, almost vertical. You finish with your chest to the square at 45 degrees. What you can do to the extent that your legs allow it, you remember I was saying you're going to use gravity to give you power. The bending helps, but you can also sink, if you can, sink your knees. What you have to be very careful about is maintain the 70-30 weight distribution. If you can't maintain 70-30, if you find that your breathing tightens up, just go down a millimeter. You don't have to go down too far. Okay. The last thing I want to talk about is arm movements, and then we'll practice it together a few times and check for questions again. So when I'm here, this is where I'm going to start. This is where I'm going to finish. So the ending posture, you can see my torso is at 45 degrees, my arm to the vertical. My arm is at 45 degrees to the vertical. My fingertips are vertical. You can see there's a 90-degree angle between my arm and my torso. That means that actually if I don't move my torso, my arm is just going forward. My arm doesn't go up. My arm doesn't go down. My arm actually just goes straight out. It looks as if it's diving off a cliff because I'm bending my torso. But remember that when you go forward, your arm is just straightening out to here. Are there any questions? Let's practice that. Yes, Rogelio.
Your fingers are sort of diving into 45, so they end up straight.
Yes, exactly right. Yeah. And so, needle at the sea bottom, you're diving down to the sea bottom. Yali can correct me. I believe the mythological reference here is to the Monkey King, who dived to the bottom of the sea and I think probably beat one of the demon kings and found a needle, but it was a magical needle that can turn into this great big iron staff that he uses to beat people up. And when he's finished, it turns back into a needle and he puts it behind his ear like a pencil. But that sinking down, that's what you're doing here, sinking to the bottom of the sea. Okay, let's practice that together a few times. Question? No, okay. We're in left brush knee. Yield forward weight, bring the back foot to center line, right hand goes down a bit. Pushing with the heel of the left foot, open the chest, pull the right arm back. Change footwork now with your chest coming to square and your torso bending. Sink a little if you want to, and you're finished. Do that again. Left brush knee. Shift forward weight, bring the back foot in. Pushing with the heel of the left foot, left arm comes up, right arm pulls back, chest open. Change footwork. With body turning and torso tilting, arm goes forward in front. Make sure your head is still up. You're looking at the ground a few yards in front of you. Fingertips vertical, left arm by the left knee. Do that again. We're in left brush knee. Yield forward your weight. Right arm goes forward and down a bit. Bring the right foot in. Pushing back with the heel. Left arm comes up. Pulling back with the right. Change footwork. Turn the torso. Bend at the hip crease. Go down. Make sure your head is up. Now, if you release that position, I'm just going to stay here. I just want to show you the left arm position. So the left arm position is wherever your torso ends up, hang your arm, bend the elbow slightly, bend the wrist slightly. That's your left hand position. I think we're all good. One of the common problems is people tend to bring it to the center line. It's not. It's off to the side here, but I think we're all good on that. Yep, that's good. Yes, Yali, was that a question? No, that was a practice. That wasn't a question, or was it a...
That was just so the left arm kind of follow the body down a bit.
Yes, yes. And as I was trying to demonstrate with Susan, so let's just review that again. Particularly for the body turning and the energy points. So the essential principle is inner and outer coordinate together, which is translated as have an imaginary opponent. So what you're doing here is you imagine, I'll do it this way around. Imagine somebody grabs your right hand. You yield forward and the arm comes down a bit, step your back foot in. Now with body turning, you're going to pull. So this is a pull with the right and a push with the left. Make sure that your, let's do this for now. Now you're going to change your footwork, heel to ball. Now there's actually this, the right hand is going down, it's your wrist lock, and the left hand is pushing down. Remember when I had my left hand on Susan's elbow? So that's what you're doing. You're doing a pull and a wrist lock down. With the left hand, you're doing a grab and a push, and then a push down. Before I watch you, one thing I noticed, I just wanted to be sure that you can check for yourself, is when you open the right, when you pull the right back, make sure that you're not pulling your shoulder open. Remember this posture that we have in standing practice? Make sure you still keep your chest sinking. For me, that means that the palm really doesn't go past the side of, past your face. It doesn't go back here, it's about here. And remember, shoulder dropping, elbow dropping. So let me watch you do that. So with the left hand, When we go forward, so we yield forward here. As we pull back with the right, the left hand is actually going to lift to about 45 degrees. So make sure that you don't have a dead left arm. So the left arm actually comes up about halfway as you pull to the right. Yes, very nice. Yep. And the other thing, just to be doubly sure, and again, this probably is just a camera issue, but when you finished, and this will, if you have this issue, if you have it here, you'll have it everywhere. So something to work on is, for example, when we do brush knee, make sure that in this position, your fingertips are pointing straight ahead and not off to the side. So you want whatever position this hand is here, imagine they're like headlights and they're pointing straight ahead. So when I'm doing needlet C bottom here, hand is sitting here, left hand is sitting. As I come down, my palm is parallel to the ground at the bottom.
I don't think I'm doing the footwork right.
Okay. So do you want to tell me what you think what you're doing, or should I go through it, Maria?
When I put my foot down, I don't know if it's the heel.
Oh, okay.
So when I go back, the foot and the back, the heel comes first, and then.
Okay. So let's just review that. I can't see much, but let's just review that to make sure we're in line. So the first thing you're going to do is so in this position, you're going to bring the back foot to the center line. Okay. I imagine that you've got that right.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, that's easy. Then, so you bring the back foot into the center line. Now, as you pull, you get most power if you're pushing with your heel. So make sure that when you are pulling with the right hand, you're pushing with the left heel. So you pull open to here, and then you change to the ball as you go down.
So it's always the heel is down. It's when you go down that you put the ball of your foot.
Yes. So I'll give you something to compare it with. So for example, when you're doing repulse monkey. Okay, so I'm here, I step back, I'm going to pull and push off, and I'm pushing off with my heel to get most power. So I'm pushing off with the heel. Again, I swing and step. Now when I pull with my right hand, which is what I'm doing in needlet C bottom 2, I'm pushing with my heel. So in repulse monkey, I come down. But again, as I pull back, I'm wedging myself down. I'm sort of getting something to push against by using my heel, because I've got most power by putting my heel into the ground.
Yeah, I get the idea. Thank you.
All right, good. So we're almost out of time. So let us just practice the sequence, what we did from the end of diagonal flying through to what we did today. So shift forward, wait, bring the back foot in for raise hands. Remember to turn the body as the arms close. White crane with body turning, rotate both arms, circle, pick up the right foot, put the heel down, pointing to the corner, same place, lift up, white crane. Left brush knee with body turning, rotate both arms. Arms circle up and down, look to the back corner step with the heel. So foot flattens, brush, and then knee bends, strike. Needlet C bottom. Shift forward, yield forward, right arm comes down a bit, bring the back foot in. Now pulling back with the right, open the chest, the left arm comes up to about 45 degrees. Change footwork to the ball, sink, going down. Turn chest, bend torso. Check that your head is up, but you're looking about 2 meters in front. And stop. So that's what we are going to stop with today. So with needlet C bottom, the new technique that we had was going from bow stance to empty stance heel touch. The martial art techniques we looked at was the pull and separate, and then the wrist lock and push down. And pay particular attention to, as we were coming down, you're turning the waist and bending the torso at the same time as you come down. And if you have it in you, just bend the knees, but make sure that you keep the knees and toes in a line. 同学们，再见。